It's an oliphant.
Huh? Oh yeah. Yeah, cool. Oh, don't shoot them. Put them in a zoo or safari park. Yeah, well, Jurassic Park. Big ones usually go wrong. Oh well, I'll probably just do a 10mm version of it, miniature-wise, and use this as a reference. Got a picture now. So. Yeah, well, good luck on the, what was it you were doing? A hike or something to a mountain? I don't know. All right, bye. That was crazy. Mumakil. Oh, hang on, what's that? Look at that! Damn. That's amazing. Look at that size difference. So yeah, this is nice. Looks like we've got like a couple of units of Haradrim in there, maybe 3 units. Oh, and he sent me bases. Now this guy, honestly, like you need to get this guy to print your stuff. This is your guy, MSG Miniatures. Now I appreciate this. This was quick and the prints are great. Right, first let's get some clippers and stuff and get this sorted. If you've got a printer and you'd like to print these yourselves, you can go over to Wake's Emporium. He has a Patreon and you can get access to these amazing Mumakil files amongst so many others. It's time to grab my clippers, these tiny little see-through files, lovely jubbly, and get to work clipping and removing all of these naughty little supports on these Mumakils. Mumakil, yeah, that's right. It's both singular and plural. So, like Harad. Harads. You don't say Harads, you say Haradrim or Harad or Harad. If you say Harad though, it makes me think of Harads, and that is singular and plural. Well, actually no, is it? It probably is, but it's actually saying like Harrods, like it's Harrod's place. Yeah, I got distracted by this horse, by the way. Look at this horse. Can you believe it? So nice. Right, that's enough of that. We're ready to paint these behemoths. Got really thrown off now. Anyway, it's time for Zenithal priming. I cannot be bothered to unpack my airbrush and go through all the stuff and try and, you know, unclog it and then do the bit and then reclog it and then do it again. So I just got these rattle cans and I did this and it works just fine, if not as good as the airbrush. Sorry. Anyway, look, here they are. They're done. They're not really done though, this is the first step. There's many steps. We're using a Zenithal contrast method, so we're going to use various washes and contrasts. We're going to start with this dark wash all over the flesh, all the fleshy bits of the elephant's body. While I was doing this, I was also hanging out with one of my Patreons who was doing the same. Look at that. And we're planning to do some massive battles with these, so stay tuned for that. And now it's time for this blue wash, because I liked the way that Grant's were blue, like a bit sort of bluey grey, and I wanted to copy that, so I stole it as an idea. But I did it in a slightly different way, so I could still use the Zenithal contrast method, which utilises the Zenithal highlight and then the see-through contrast. Anyway, a bit of pallid bone, and we're going to be using this on, you've guessed it, all of the bony bits. Well, actually, it's tusks. Mainly tusks and toes. So yeah, look at that, tusks and toes and bits of rope. Can't forget the rope. Right, time for brown. Loves me a bit of brown, and this is funny enough for all the brown bits of wood, and there are no belts. But if there were belts, they would be painted brown. I can tell you that for certain. But for now, we're just going to be doing all the bits of wood. Man, I had a lot of footage of this wood painting, didn't I? Yep, okay, that's done. There we go. All across the board. Lovely. Starting to get somewhere. What now? What now, he thought to himself. Red. Yeah, lots of red. And we're going to start with Slaughter Red, which is a slightly burgundy type red, and this is nice for all of the deep dark bits. We're definitely going to be highlighting, so we are doing this a little bit thicker than we usually would. With this method, usually you'd water down the contrast, but I wanted to go thick because I want high saturation. you know. Oh, look at that already. I'm starting to get somewhere. I'm starting to feel good about it. Time to dry brush some lovely red. I'm using this Too Thin Coats red. I can't remember what the red was. And I seem to have covered it up in the shot. That's good, isn't it? And I used an orange, orangey red anyway, and did a second go at this. And it started to, get quite nice and vibrant. And that's what we want. We want it nice and vibrant. And I also dry brushed the ropes. It's time for a red play marker. It's a paint pen, and this is going to be for all the lovely red markings on his face and legs and all that. Look at that. It's a really sort of like high saturation, slightly lighter than the Haldor cloth, and I wanted that because I want it to pop really hard. And then I'm just using a fine liner pen to do all of the markings. It's a bit shiny, but I'm just going to use a matte varnish on it later to take away that shine. It just means it's nice and accurate, so you can do all these weird, obscure markings that mean something to the tribe, who alongside brutally training Mumakil must also honour the Black Serpent and the Eye of Sauron. So, you know. It's time for bases, and I got these from War Bases, and they came really quick, and they're really, really cheap. And I've got some extra ones for some goblins for later. And some trench brown, just spray that so it's nice and, you know, more brown than it was before, and then glue them on to the bases, and that's done. You know, it doesn't have to be hard, always, you know. This is flexible moulding paste, and it's very good if you mix it with brown as a sort of muck. And it dries nice and hard, so I'm going to be mixing this together with brown until I'm happy with the consistency. Yeah, look at the brown going. Chocolate mousse. I really want chocolate mousse now, and it wasn't dark enough, so I darkened it down with a bit of whatever that was. Gosh, look at that chocolate mousse. And then I'm just roughly painting that onto the base, and this will hide the lip of the round or oval base, I should say. And then, it looks like mud. Lovely. And I start to sprinkle in some actual real mud from the garden onto it. There you go, look at that. Nice. Right, it's time for various flocks and tufts and some PVA. All the tufts are from Tajima, by the way, and there's a link in my description. Here I'm just making some watered down PVA, and this is going to be mixed together and then painted onto the base, and then we can start sprinkling on various bits of green and orange and brown and whatever, you know, the stuff you'd find on the ground in the countryside in, Ithilien or Droitwich. Okay, it's time for tufts. I'm going to start with gold. I'm going to use these tweezers because I tried to do it before without tweezers and it was an absolute nightmare. We haven't got many of these left, so we're going to sparsely put them about the place. Now, moving on to wild grass because it's in the wilds and I like it wild, man. There we go. And another one there. Okay, it's time for bulrushes. Don't know what they are, but they're pretty cool. They're probably around swamps and that, probably. I don't know. Purple, weird plant, flower thing. Welcome to the Vortex. It's a pocket dimension between pocket dimensions. And this is where you and me usually catch up. I'm feeling a little bit distracted today. Sort of recharging magical energies and things like that. Because to be honest, I'm absolutely knackered at the minute. I've been editing a lot of stuff. I just recently edited a video for Michael at Nat One Videos where we interviewed Kieran Shah, who is the stunt and scale double for Elijah Wood in The Lord of the Rings, but he also played pretty much all of the Hobbits at different times. Amazing stuntman. He was in Superman, Indiana Jones, so much stuff. It's incredible. So if you haven't seen that already, I'll link it up here. Go check it out. It's amazing. And I also did one that's here. You can go check that out. So what's coming up on the channel? Well, I'm definitely going to be doing a massive goblin army really soon, amongst some other awesome projects. I'd like to thank these guys. These are my Patreons, my Vortexians, and without them I just couldn't do this. It's a really hard job, especially because, you know, I'm doing a full-time job as well at the same time, but it is really rewarding and I love it. And we catch up behind the scenes. I've got a Discord channel, and also I do extra Patreon videos and things like that. and I give something away every single month. And last month I gave away some goblin stuff. This month I don't know what I'm going to give away, but I always try and make it something really awesome. Yeah, so anyway, let's get back to the video. See you later. Okay, it's time for a Haldor crew, because what's a Haldor without its Harad, without its Haradrim? And same again, we're doing a Zenithal Prime, and then we're doing a little bit of dry brush in here just to bring out some of the fine little details, and we're doing that with a white, and this works really nicely. And then we're going to use some red. We've got two different reds, and we're going to mix them together this time, because I did some experimentation beforehand. And this is what I liked, and so this is what I'm going to do. We're going to paint all the flags, all the little cloaks, and the headdresses, the headgear. That's going to be red as well. Look, they're all red now. They've got red on them. Time for brown. Time for the brown down. And this is going to go on all of the bows and the arrow shafts and the spear shafts, a lot of shafts, and and there are belts, and there are belts and loincloths and the bases as well. There you go. Pallid bone. I'm going to use this on all of the ends of the spears and stuff, because I'm going to interpret them as tusks, like tusk weapons. Okay, peachy flesh for all of the. You guessed it, flesh. Don't know why I sang that, sorry. Yep, and one there, yep, and yep. Moving on to the play marker again, and this very carefully is being used to create, you guessed it, some lovely red highlights, and this was actually very effective. Okay, and moving on now to gold, and I wanted to do all of the icons and stuff like that on the flags gold. Yeah, nice. Now let's go back to the studio and do some peachy flesh wash on this gold, because it's a bit too yellow for my liking. Alright, and now they're done. Just going to have to glue them on to the Haldor using some super glue. And it was, yeah, this one, we'll start with this one, yeah. And it was, yeah, it was really, really easy. It wasn't fiddly. So here's some of the best bits. A little selection reel of all the best bits of me trying to glue them on there. Yeah.
The men of the north were brave. Greatly outnumbered, they drove back the hordes of innumerable orcs. Yet they were not prepared for our beasts of war. A walking weapon, nay, a fortress on legs, the destroyer of kingdoms. They have met their match, and then some. Fools.
Honestly, painting these was definitely the most satisfying of all the 10mm miniatures I've painted so far, and adding them to the Orc Horde, well, you can see it. I mean, come on.